Should you change the world? I'm talking to you directly. Should you be given the abilities to mold and shape the world as you see it? If you woke up one day and were able to change the world in any way you wanted, should you? Even if you believe the world is
just a big disappointment. Unless you take the things that you don't like about this world and you flip them upside down right on.
Would you make a good leader? Would you not just end up like a dictator ruling over a fascist country in which he leaves his subjects poor, unfed, untaken care of, leaving children to rot just to make yourself and your life easier, to make your life better? Could you be a better person with the powers you are given? Or would you simply end up ruling the world in some sort of aristocratic and overly governing type of way? Would you be able to rise above the powers that you are given and use them for something good, something greater than just yourself? Would you be Superman, or would you be something far more akin to a Homelander? That's the question I want you to think about while you watch this video. This video is about the Watchmen, and more specifically, this is about Dr. Manhattan, who happens to be given these powers to shape the world as he sees fit. He can do literally anything with his powers, and like most superheroes, he starts out by being a vigilante, just wanting to help other people. But soon he becomes despondent and alone. He starts to view himself as more than human.
Pretty good, man. Where your clothes at?
He gets to the point where he doesn't see the value in wearing clothes, where he doesn't even see the value in spending time with his significant other, whom he says he cares for, but does he really? You see, Dr. Manhattan believes himself to be so far above humanity that simply making love to his, right now, girlfriend is a waste of his time, and he would rather send a clone of himself to do it and go work instead. But Dr. Manhattan wasn't always like this with Silk Spectre. He at one point was super passionate about her, maybe back during the 1960s when the Watchmen were first formed as a superhero group. Hell, he even left his wife, of which he was married to for almost a decade, simply because he found her more attractive and she was a superhero. He was willing to leave his wife for this woman, and now he doesn't even want to be with her. The more we get to know about Dr. Manhattan, the more we see him as being less human. Take this scene in the movie, for example. Dr. Manhattan is going to watch somebody actively get gunned down. He has the power to stop it, but he chooses not to. He actively makes a choice to watch. But why would he do that?
That's right. You know what? You watched me. You could have turned the gun into steam, the bullets into mercury, the bottle into goddamn snowflakes, but you didn't, did you? You really don't give a damn about human beings. You're drifting out of touch, Doc.
Now don't get it twisted. The man in that scene did not deserve to be saved or have the bottle turn into glass. As a matter of fact, the dude is a serial rapist who would literally beat and abuse women in order to use them for his own pleasures. He is a terrible person. He always has been and he always will be. But what's even funnier is the fact that in this world, even if somebody's presented as a hero, they're not really a hero. Everybody in this comic book, in this show, movie, however you view it, they're all asshats. It's like watching The Boys. It's sad and depressing. Dr. Manhattan literally went to Vietnam and nuked the crap out of everybody. And when he got bored of it, he decided to leave the world simply because he believes himself to be above humanity. He doesn't care for his girlfriend anymore. He doesn't care about anything. The entire world is on the verge of nuking each other into oblivion, and he simply doesn't care. He'd rather build himself a paradise so he can live alone. It takes the Silk Spectre, who at this point has moved on and began dating another of the Watchmen, Owlman, to go to his utopia on Mars, just to try and talk him back into coming down, being human, and saving the world. But Dr. Manhattan doesn't care. He views everyone as atoms, as useless, as disposable, and as unneeded. Wouldn't you be just as callous if nothing mattered? He doesn't age, he doesn't drink, he doesn't sleep. He's been given these incredible powers, and for what? He is a god amongst men. He can do whatever he wants, be whoever he wants, and at some point you just get bored of it. So I ask you again, would you want these powers? Not should you change the world, but would you even want these powers, these abilities? You see, the last thing that brings Dr. Manhattan back to Earth, the one thing that gets him to go back, is his care for another person. It's his want to help the Silk Spectre.
What are you... Hey! Oh my God, listen to me. Nothing's this important. Come on, come down here. What are you doing?
What are you carrying with me?
Because I owe somebody a favor.
Not me.
Why not you? You know, have a cup of coffee with me?
What?
You've been seeing throughout this video clips of a movie called Pay It Forward. It's a 2000 movie that is essentially there to help explain my point. The entire movie is about doing good deeds for others and hoping they are well paid forward. Dr. Manhattan did a lot of good as a hero, and almost none of it was paid forward. As a matter of fact, he's being blamed right now by the villain of the movie, of the comic book, for a nuking of the world. He has set the world on fire, so to speak, because he is public enemy number one. They're threatening to kill, or at least try to kill, Dr. Manhattan. They believe him to be the big bad. But is that truly a bad thing? You see, the entire world sort of comes together, united against Dr. Manhattan. And that was the goal of the villain, to unite the world through a common enemy, Dr. Manhattan being that common enemy. But Rorschach, another one of the Watchmen, he can't live with the fact that that's not the truth being told out there. And unfortunately for him, Dr. Manhattan agrees to take the blame and to be the bad guy. So Dr. Manhattan's that decides for himself that it would be better if he took all of the blame and if he just went away to a different galaxy. He's trying to do something good for humanity, to pay it forward, so to speak. But is it really worth it? Is paying it forward worth it? I want to ask you all again, would you want to have those powers? And should you change the world? Would you make it a better place? Would you leave it better than you found it? Or would your attempts at making it better simply lead to it being worse? Would it lead to more death, more destruction, and more heartache? Should you change the world? So yeah, that video was definitely kind of incredibly sort of dark and upsetting, but I'll be honest, that's kind of what the Watchmen books and the movie are. They're really just sad. And I usually recommend you go read or go watch whatever movie I'm talking about. Go understand the character for yourself. But I find it personally hard to recommend this movie and these comic books because they are just so sad. They're really, really well done, but they're just sad. So if you're going to watch them, just know they are very adult films, and they are definitely pretty damn sad. Regardless, I wanted to take a minute to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting my content. If you like the video, please like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you want to support me on Patreon and see these videos edited and unedited and early, then you can join my Patreon. Thank you all for the support, and I'm out.